she was still the genius that everyone had their eyes on. Simply because when the girl was born, the machine that detected special abilities emitted an unprecedented, divine rainbow light. Because of this light, everyone felt that only she could truly embody what it meant to be heaven's favored daughter. But the truth was, she was an utterly ordinary person, without any special abilities. Yet her reputation as the gun god spread farther and wider. Just as she was carefully maintaining her facade, an arrogant guy, in his bid to climb higher, punched the original host to death. At the same time, a girl from Blue Star with the same name, Ten Yi, was reborn, and seemingly unlocked the path of dual ultimate talents, ultimate ice and ultimate consciousness. Looking at the expressions of disbelief and disappointment on the faces around her, Tan Yi stood up, swallowing the blood in her mouth. The original host couldn't handle the blow, and had just moments ago stopped breathing. And now, Tan Yi, who was just an ordinary person from Blue Star, felt like her life was about to be completely ruined. In the words of a novel, this was an extremely flashy, overpowered character setting, the kind that absolutely must not be exposed. And the current situation was extremely dire. According to the Academy's arena rules, the only way to leave the arena after entering is to admit defeat. But judging by the force behind the opponent's punch, she wouldn't even have a chance to open her mouth to surrender. What should she do? Was her only option to be beaten half to death and wait for a teacher to save her? Tan Yi shook her head. According to the original owner's reputation, these teachers would definitely think she's hiding her true abilities. What should I do? Am I really just waiting to die? Han Yi was anxious inside, but his face showed no expression. His nails dug deeply into his flesh. It was as if he was awaiting a death sentence. Yet, unbeknownst to him, the more nervous the girl became, the more intense the pressure she exuded. Han Yi stood on the arena, quietly watching his opponent, as if looking at something not worth worrying about. Simply put, it was a gaze that saw trash. The onlookers were astonished. Their previously doubtful eyes regarding the girl's reputation as a genius were instantly suppressed. The reason the girl on the stage was considered an unattainable flower was because she met all the standards of a heaven-favored prodigy. Low-key beauty, aloof, and pure. Especially when she looks at someone with an expressionless face. That kind of gaze, as if looking at ants, makes people shiver. Lin Mai's originally smug gaze suddenly paused. The dirt pile hitting her actually left her completely unscathed. And Tan Yi's gaze, as if looking at ants, successfully provoked him. Earth-based powers continuously emanated. Countless dirt piles burst forth from the ground. Originally thought that you were no different from those pretentious good-for-nothings before. But now, it seems, you at least have some skill. Since you're unharmed, then I don't need to hold back. Looking at the huge rock in front of her, Tan Yi resignedly closed her eyes. It's over. The arena doesn't even have any cover. After this strike, I'll surely end up dead, just like the original owner. But at the critical moment, a mechanical voice sounded in Tan Yi's mind. Host's life value detected as 0. Detection mode activated. As the voice fell, a burst of ice blue, cold light suddenly blocked in front of the girl. The dirt piles attempting to approach Tan Yi met with that faint layer of blue light. A wave of cold air swept over everyone. The earth instantly froze. Tan Yi half opened her eyes. Just like that, she easily blocked the attack. With the appearance of the cold light, a lethal blue light flew toward Lin Mai. His pupils suddenly dilated. Defeat me, and you'll be #1 in Kington. The moment the mechanical sound appeared, a blue light flashed in Tan Yi's eyes. A look of pity and compassion appeared on his face. Lin Mai's heart suddenly jolted. This is what makes everyone feel fear. As if being controlled in the palm of someone's hand like an ant. The feeling of an inescapable fate. has now appeared on an 18-year-old girl. Is this the true strength of a heaven's favored daughter? That's enough. Just as the blue light emanating from Tan Yi was about to touch Lin Mai's neck, a man wearing black glasses blocked the attack for Lin Mai and nodded towards Tan Yi. The electronic voice in Han Yi's mind sounded again. Danger has been eliminated. Detected that the host is severely injured. Has eliminated the pain sensation for the host. Please proceed to the school infirmary for treatment immediately. As the system's words fell, the pain on Tan Yi's body also disappeared. Tan Yi glanced faintly at the man and expressionlessly stepped past him down from the ring. In her eyes, it seems nothing in this world is worth caring about, including the teacher who came out of nowhere. A wave of murmurs swept through the audience below. The students were so badass. She doesn't even show respect for Teacher Yan. And that's a senior teacher the school specially hired from a big city for the dance exam. Even the principal has to show her some respect. Yet she didn't give any face at all. This is no princess. This is a queen. After leaving the arena, Tan Yi's expressionless facade finally collapsed, patting her chest with lingering fear. That was close. If I had been exposed, and they found out I'm a good for nothing, I'd probably be drowned in their scorn. Remembering the mechanical voice that had sounded in her mind earlier, Tan Yi asked the system, "Are you there?" The electronic voice sounded again. "What is it, host?" Seeing that the system really responded to her, Tan Yi was instantly thrilled. "I actually have a cheat system. Thank goodness. If it weren't for you today, I would have been beaten to a pulp. Host, please don't get excited just yet. In order to save you earlier, the system's energy has been depleted. For your own safety, please obtain an equivalent amount of objects from your surroundings to replenish energy." What kind of things do I need to replenish your energy? Currently detecting. The school infirmary contains objects that meet the system's requirements. Please proceed to the school infirmary. Hearing this, Tan Yi quickly walked to the school infirmary, pushed the door open, and entered. Inside, there was an elderly person wearing a white coat. The doctor was inside reading a book. Upon seeing someone, Tan Yi resumed her aloof and unapproachable arrogant demeanor. The old doctor smiled and asked, "Student, is there anything you need help with?" Tan Yi glanced at the clean and tidy school infirmary. He frantically called out for the system in his mind. "Quickly tell me where the thing you need is." The system scanned the area, reported back that an object was detected. The primary recovery solution can restore the system's synergy. Please, host, obtain it quickly. Rows of potions under the glass cabinet gleamed brilliantly. After getting the answer, Tan Yi pointed at the potions placed under the glass cabinet. He said coldly, "I want it." The old-school doctor glanced over in surprise. "Sorry, student. This item is temporarily stored in the infirmary by the school. I don't have the authority to give it to you." Tan Yi remained expressionless. That chilling aura simply couldn't be suppressed. The school doctor, for some reason, felt a chill run down his spine. This is the reward for the top 3 in the school's mock exam. If you want it, just make the top 3 in the upcoming mock exam. Tan Yi was still expressionless. Actually, she wanted to put on a pleading look and act cute to persuade the school doctor. But this body was used to acting cool. Instinctively, it refused to allow any expression that might ruin the cool image. So it stayed in the usual aloof and cool mode. Hearing what the school doctor said, Tan Yi couldn't help but feel disappointed inside. The school doctor comforted, "Don't worry, student. It will remain in the infirmary until the exam is over. Come back to get it after you rank in the top 3. Hearing this, Tan Yi paused. Getting top 3 in the mock exam. That's like asking for her life. Don't listen to all the hype about her being so amazing. She's actually just a weakling, different from an ordinary person. If she were to compete for first place against those supernatural students, would she be flattened by a single punch? Or crushed to death by a single palm strike? thinking about the consequence of being beaten to a pulp. Han Yi decisively asked about the consequences of not replenishing energy. The system replied quickly, Host, Master, if your supernatural energy cannot be restored, you will be seen as a worthless nobody in others' eyes. Both of us will end up as cannon fodder in someone else's hands. That's a really serious consequence. Tan Yi immediately dismissed the idea of not replenishing energy. Where can I buy the primary recovery potion? She asked. The old school doctor thought for a moment. The recovery potion is very expensive. You can't buy it at just any ordinary pharmacy. If you want to buy it, go line up at the hospital. But I'm warning you, the 5 major exams are in 3 months. Many parents are buying repair fluid now. You won't get your turn until after the exams are over. Just as Tan Yi was disappointed, the old school doctor added, I remember the official training camp seems to have it too. As long as your name is on the leaderboard, you can receive repair fluid according to your ranking. In order of placement, if you need it urgently now, you can try to compete for the leaderboard. Tan Yi nodded. This trip didn't get her the repair fluid, but she got information about it. The difficulty of obtaining it was far beyond her imagination. After leaving the school clinic, Tan Yi sighed. Given our current capabilities to compete on the leaderboard, can we succeed? The system decisively replied, absolutely impossible. Tan Yi refused to give up. If competing on the leaderboard is out of reach, then what about making the top 3 in the mock exam? This should be a bit easier, right? The official training camp is established for all the ability users in the city. It includes almost every genius within the city. But the mock exam is different. It's just an exam at Kington Ordinary High School. The difficulty drops significantly. The system still shook its head decisively. Previously, to save the host, the energy was already depleted. At this moment, there is no energy left to take action. If the energy is not replenished, the host's body will become increasingly weaker. Tan Yi was well aware of this fact. She and the system share both glory and loss. It is impossible for either to exist independently without the other. So what should be done now? Should she really take the mock exam? Tan Yi let out a helpless sigh. She swallowed the wound medicine obtained from the school nurse. In the next second, the abrasions on her body healed at a visibly rapid rate. She couldn't help but marvel at the wonder of supernatural abilities. Truly, it was a healing pill specially made for supernatural ability students. After taking just 1 pill, her wounds had actually completely healed. After Tan Yi returned to the classroom, the homeroom teacher stood on the podium. He glanced subtly at Tan Yi. The college entrance exam was approaching. I know you've all been very anxious lately, but students with stronger overall abilities should try not to go all out during assignments. Leave some room for the weaker students to survive. As soon as these words were spoken, the average students gasped in shock. They turned their heads in unison to look at the expressionless girl. Tan Yi. She calmly searched through the pile of books for the textbook needed for class. After realizing someone was watching her, Tan Yi's eyelashes lifted slightly, then lowered again. She maintained a composed and unruffled demeanor. What are you looking at? Did you hear that? Match your strength with appropriate opponents. You overachievers. If you keep picking on a weakling like me for duels, I'm going to tell the teacher. You're bullying the weak. Something doesn't seem quite right. Seeing the awestruck looks in her classmates' eyes, Tan Yi's face stiffened. A sense of foreboding welled up in her heart. She slowly raised her head. Sure enough, she met the homeroom teacher's admiring yet faintly disapproving gaze. Wait, am I the strong one here? Watching their increasingly shocked expressions, that mix of admiration, envy, and resentment reserved for geniuses completely stunned her. No, I'm not. I'm not, teacher. You've got me all wrong. Now that you've said that, after this class, I'm afraid these words will spread throughout all of Kington High School. Did you hear? That Tan Yi from class 1. Even the teacher said she's amazing. Why are they giving a weakling such a hard time? Just thinking about it made Tan Yi feel short of breath. System, if I try to argue back, will the teacher kill me? The system replied, I don't know. After class, Tan Yi was summoned to the office by her homeroom teacher. Tan Yi, do you know why I called you here? Tan Yi shook her head slightly, looking at the girl's indifferent face, and the unintentional air of nobility she exuded. Teacher Lee sighed. It's for your own future. Ever since you arrived at Kington High School, you've asked for leave during every exam. Even in practical combat classes, you drag your feet. For these past 3 years, the number of times you've come to class can be counted on one hand. Do you have some dissatisfaction with the school? Hearing the teacher's words, Tan Yi wiped away the cold sweat that wasn't there. It was true that the original owner, to keep her secret, rarely came to school. Except for theory classes, she was mostly absent from practical classes. This was almost an unforgivable offense. If the school hadn't valued her talent, they would have expelled her long ago. Seeing the teacher like this, the school had also put up with her for a long time. But if she hadn't done this, her fake genius facade would have been exposed long ago. So now the question is, an ordinary girl who isn't a genius, because of others' misunderstanding, was forced to bear the name of genius. If it were you, what would you do? She didn't know about others. Tan Yi only knew her own thoughts. Should she just confess? The word confess seemed to be full of magic, making Tan Yi's originally anxious heart grow a strong sense of hope. She wanted to tell everyone, I'm not any genius. I'm just a nobody. So please stop looking at me with the eyes meant for a genius. But she also clearly knew in her heart, once she said this, what kind of anger she would have to face. Those who saw her as a rival, or worshipped her as an idol, what kind of looks would they give her? No, she didn't want that. Everyone knew the truth after that. That expression of anger and disappointment, it pierced Tan Yi's heart like countless knives. She unconsciously bit her lip. Maybe it's better to just leave it like this. As long as she doesn't say anything, no one will know she's a loser. I know you're a genius, so you think highly of yourself. Even if you look down on competing with them, you still can't skip classes without reason. Count how many classes you've actually attended these years. Thinking about this student's various strange behaviors, Teacher Lee felt more and more headache the longer she thought. This student, who remains cold as ice at all times, Teacher Lee appreciates, but is also very angry. She had heard this student defeated top student Lin Mai with just one move. This forced the observing teacher to break the rules and step in to save someone. When he found out about this, he almost died laughing. Since the specially appointed teacher joined class 2, their abilities have skyrocketed. They've dominated the top spots for several months straight. It's no exaggeration to say their class monopolized the top 50 ranks in the grade. Now that you've beaten someone from their class, they might come looking for trouble later. Tan Yi, who was just about to admit he was a weakling, now felt utterly helpless. Would anyone even believe me if I said I'm a weakling now? And I actually did something as big as breaking a monopoly. Hey, system, didn't we just give a light tap? Why did that one hit directly shatter Class 2's monopoly? Can a monopoly be broken that easily? Now? Tan Yi's eyes flickered slightly. The words he was about to blurt out were scared back down. The system she summoned remained silent for a moment, then finally replied, well, is it possible that one strike used up a whole month's worth of energy for weaklings like us? Tan Yi was exasperated. So that's how it is. I knew we were weak, but I never expected we'd be this weak. A whole month's energy just for one chance to show off. Teacher Lee looked at her with satisfaction. Don't worry, you did very well this time. Lin Mai has good grades in their class. She always ranks in the top 5 in every test. Your answer this time is a good thing for you. Tan Yi's usually emotionless eyes held a trace of confusion. Her clear, cold voice was as pleasing as jade. So what can they do? Her indifferent tone was like an untouchable deity. The girl's calm eyes made Teacher Li pause in surprise. What can that bunch of people do? Revenge requires strength. And strength is something she does not lack. Recalling his own worry from moments ago, he actually found it ridiculous. How could he have forgotten? The person before him is the principal, who personally visited her home to invite her to Kington High School. She is the true pride of Kington High School. Why bother with those mediocre people? Teacher Li adjusted his glasses. Tan Yi, your abilities are among the very best in our school. The principal asked me to check your thoughts. Do you want to transfer to Class 2? Or remain in Class 1? Tan Yi did not hesitate. Class 1. Teacher Li was taken aback. But Class 2's resources are clearly more suited for your development. Won't you reconsider? Hearing this, Tan Yi lifted her previously lowered gaze. Her eyes held an indescribable chill. They seemed to hold nothing at all. Yet they made people feel an unspeakable arrogance. Tan Yi's gaze shifted slightly. Her red lips parted slightly. They are not worthy. The office wasn't occupied by only Teacher Li. Other teachers were also present at the moment. The reason they were still lingering here, it's simply because I wanted to know how this extremely famous genius girl would actually choose. Hearing her answer now, everyone instantly gasped in shock. What she meant was, no matter what, she was still Kington's #1. So Class 2 wasn't worthy. She openly stated that Class 2 wasn't qualified. So arrogant. Tan Yi blinked. Why are you all looking at her so surprised? You said it yourselves. Class 2 students are all in the top 50 on average. It's full of a bunch of privileged elites. She, a weakling hiding under a genius shell. Is she worthy of being classmates with those top students? No, she isn't worthy. Hearing her answer, Teacher Li's eyes lit up. How could he be willing to just hand over the students he had taught for 2 years? If it weren't for the fact that the newly hired special teacher was so formidable, he wouldn't even have brought this up. Have you thought it through clearly? Tan Yi nodded affirmatively. If she stayed in Class 1, she could still skip class anytime, like the original owner did. If she went to Class 2, given their class's average top 50, high-pressure competitive environment, she would definitely be dragged onto the sparring platform. No, absolutely not. Having experienced one sparring match already, Tan Yi kept refusing. She absolutely did not want to compete with those super-powered students who end up with broken bones at the drop of a hat. Seeing her firm nod, Teacher Li beamed with joy. He took a tube of potion out from his drawer. I won't interfere with your choice. This is for you. Tan Yi calmly accepted it. But she couldn't help feeling surprised inside. The potion tube was transparent, only as thick as a finger. The liquid flowing inside was a light green. It had an indescribable sense of premium quality. The system's voice sounded in her ear. You have discovered the restoration fluid. Do you choose to absorb it? Noticing the surprise in her eyes, Teacher Li said with a smile, the school has certain support policies for top students. The top 10 can receive 1 restoration fluid each month. The previous restoration fluids were all monopolized by Class 2. Now that you've beaten Lin Mai, it's yours. After accepting the restoration fluid, Teacher Li gave a few more words of advice. Only then did Tan Yi, carrying the restoration fluid, walk out of the office in a daze. Seeing the dusk, Tan Yi suddenly snapped out of it. She thought that things like this required hard work and actively competing fiercely to obtain. Yet she got it so easily. It came too easily. This gave her an unreal feeling. System, how do I absorb this restoration fluid? Oral intake. To grasp this unreal feeling, Tan Yi thought for a moment. Decided to find a safe place, and take the restoration fluid immediately. A moment later, system scanned the surrounding, cleanly wiped wooden boards, was utterly speechless. So the so-called safe place you meant was here. Is this even necessary? 1 bucket per person. Smelling a faint, indistinct stench, staring at each other in dismay. This is fucking the toilet. The system never expected its host could be this absurd. Tan Yi squats over the pit. She pinches her nose, pulls out a potion from her pocket and says, "What do you know? Since ancient times, those who achieve great things must undergo the legendary toilet education. Only by enduring the worst stench can one rise above others. For us to safely get into university, what's a little hardship? But you don't have to eat while smelling shit in the toilet." The system screams inwardly. But in the end, it still couldn't stop her from downing the potion in 1 gulp. After Tan Yi finishes the potion, a series of consecutive farts suddenly echoes through the toilet. A sour and foul smell, arrogantly spreading throughout this tiny space. The system yelled, "Host, hold it in, you can't vomit. If we vomit, we lose." This pungent smell brought tears to Tan Yi's eyes. "You shut up. Hearing you say that makes me want to vomit even more. Just which bastard took such an ugly dump?" Tan Yi, currently enduring a gas attack in the stall, covered her nose. "University suffered so much for you. If you dare betray me, I will vomit so much your own parents won't recognize you." Finally, she couldn't take it anymore and hurriedly ran out of the restroom. But before she could relax for long, as she lowered her head to breathe fresh air, sparse, dark shadows converged in front of her, one after another, until their shadows stacked together like a forest. She patted her chest, and her mind, reeling, involuntarily conjured scenes from TV dramas of innocent students being bullied by delinquents. She raised her head, a pair of cold eyes carrying an indescribable chill. In front of her stood, unsurprisingly, 10 students of varying builds. One of them looked very familiar. It was that opponent who had blasted her to pieces just this morning. Lin Mai raised an eyebrow. "Tan Yi, let's talk." Tan Yi lifted her gaze, looking at this group of people who clearly meant trouble. She didn't want to engage and tried to walk around them. But unexpectedly, more than 10 hands blocked her way. "Don't be in such a hurry, classmate Tan Yi. We're not here to cause you trouble today. I heard teacher gave you Lin Mai's restoration fluid." Looking at those unfriendly faces, it was clear they came for that bottle of restoration fluid. "So what if I do?" The girl glanced at them with a calm expression, as if unaware of their purpose for coming this time. She replied calmly, "No." "What do you mean?" "I know you'll definitely transfer to class 2. As long as you return the restoration fluid to him. We won't give you a hard time in the future. How about that?" The reason the class 2 students proposed such a condition was because they were certain Tan Yi would transfer to class 2. They had already received news from the teacher that Tan Yi would be transferred to their class. That's why they said such things. In other words, they would be classmates in the future. If Tan Yi wanted to get along well with the class, she would have to agree to their demands. Tan Yi frowned, anger rising in her heart. That bottle of restoration fluid was something she had won herself. Why should she give it to him? Just because she's weak? Does she have to yield? System, can you defeat them? Host, don't worry. Yes, I can. Hearing this answer, Tan Yi unconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. Her gaze swept over the class. 2 guys. Her red lips softly uttered one word, scram. The class 2 students were stunned, not expecting her to refuse them. They glanced at each other. Gritting his teeth, he finally made up his mind. Since they won't give it, then don't blame us for taking it by force. Branches thicker than wrists suddenly appeared in the air, stones larger than tables, and even giants 5 or 6 meters tall. Seeing these diverse abilities, Tan Yi swallowed hard. Countless blue light gathered in his hands. A wave of chilling cold swept across the scene. Those bizarre things charged toward her. With a light flick of her hand, they instantly froze into ice and shattered into pieces. The terrifying cold continued to spread toward them. A force that made one's blood run cold, sent chills down the spines of everyone present. Lin Mai was frozen stiff by this chilling cold. He wanted to move his feet and run, but found his soles trapped by a thick layer of ice. Stop! But before he could finish speaking, his entire body was frozen into an ice sculpture. Tan Yi stared at the dozen or so ice sculptures on the scene, completely stunned. I suddenly feel like I'm really amazing. Maybe I really am a genius. The system flickered and struck her with a devastating, one-sided blow. Damn, that's insane. Our energy isn't enough. If we don't run now, are you waiting for them to thaw and beat you up? Tan Yi ignored it, silently lifting his legs and running toward the bus. System, you're too weak. Each time, it really can only launch one single attack. The system refuses to accept this. Host, I am your superpower. The strength of the ability is closely linked to the master. If you weren't so incredibly weak yourself, would you have to run away right after showing off? When it comes down to it, it's still a problem of not having enough restorative fluid. With just this tiny little vial of medicine, how much energy can it really unleash? Tan Yi has a headache. It seems that to successfully get into university, more primary potions are absolutely necessary. The next day, Tan Yi sneaks the system to the hospital. He asks the staff about the purchasing process for the restorative fluid. The person in charge says, without looking up, you need to make an appointment a month in advance. If you manage to grab one, you get it. If you don't, you'll just have to buy it somewhere else. Tan Yi couldn't hide the disappointment on his face. There is no other way. She is a Gaokao student. Although the person in charge is a bit annoying, but still explained, you're a special ability student in the college entrance exam. You can try competing on the training camp leaderboard. As long as you make it onto the leaderboard, you can receive a free bottle every week. Hearing his words, Tan Yi sighed. If she had that kind of ability, would she need to come to a hospital, a place where social niceties are pushed to the extreme? Like this? Didn't I already say it? If you want the restoration fluid, you have to queue up and register yourself. Always coming here to ask, isn't it annoying? Are you blind? Things written clearly still need to be asked again. An impatient voice came from behind. She turned to look at the spot where she had just been standing. An elderly woman. She was cautiously asking the person in charge. The person in charge looked completely impatient. So can we queue today? The woman struggled for a moment, then cautiously asked, didn't I already say it? It's written clearly on the official website. Why are you asking again? The dissatisfaction the person in charge had been suppressing from the start erupted at this moment. In his rage, his body instantly doubled in size. His fist was about to strike down indiscriminately. Go to the official website. Can't you f***ing understand what I'm saying? Seeing that enormous fist, the woman fell to the ground, her face full of panic and confusion. The hospital was bustling with people coming and going. Soon someone noticed. This commotion quickly drew a tight crowd around the scene. Tan Yi pushed her way to the front. A tall giant was swinging his fist at an ordinary person. With so many people around, was there really no one stepping forward to help? Seeing the fist about to land, she hurriedly asked the system, do we still have enough energy to save her? The system scanned that person's combat power, replying to the host, we have insufficient energy. Temporarily unable to attack. Tan Yi looked at the superhuman, his emotions becoming increasingly unstable. Can't attack. Then we can defend, right? The system nodded. Yes. The woman watched the descending fist. She closed her eyes in despair. A few seconds passed, but the expected pain did not come. She opened her eyes in confusion. The fluttering black hair of a young girl appeared before her. Her expression was calm. She raised her hand gently. A blue light appeared at her fingertips. Like an all-powerful magic, it easily blocked the enormous fist in front of her. Looking at the stunningly beautiful face so close to her, the woman gasped. Is she a fairy? Tan Yi quickly moved in front of that superhuman. Staring at the fist, she swallowed hard. Gritting her teeth, she stretched out her hand. The onlookers felt a sudden chill all over. A barrier made of blue light appeared before their eyes. So heavy, Tan Yi looked at the fist harder than steel. That punch just now shook her entire body. If not for the effective barrier, she would have been sent flying. Though she looked relaxed, blocking the attack. In reality, it wasn't as easy as they thought. She felt as if countless large stones were pressing down on her. So heavy she could barely move. She complained silently to the system. This is way too heavy. I bet this punch weighs as much as a tractor. Seeing the shocked expressions of the onlookers, the system quickly reminded her. Host, don't speak yet. I'm afraid if you open your mouth, the cool image you've worked so hard to maintain will fall apart. Enhancement type ability users have extremely unstable tempers. Take the person in front of us as an example. If you ask him a question, he will answer. But if you ask too many times, he will become impatient. Once impatience sets in, his mood will grow increasingly irritable. When suppressed to a certain extent, he will resort to violence. As Tan Yi would say, this kind of person is the so-called emotionally unstable domestic abuser. And as luck would have it, she detests this type of person the most. Enough is enough. The girl's clear, cold, and pleasant voice rang in everyone's ears. She coldly lifted her gaze and said to the ability user, "You've gone too far." With this interruption, the ability user's face turned ashen. He knew he had gone too far. He immediately withdrew his hand. I've been a bit irritable these days due to my ability leveling up. I'll go apologize to the dean later. Tan Yi frowned slightly, seeing him withdraw his hand. She also retracted her hand. I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. She stepped aside, revealing the middle-aged woman to everyone. Her meaning was clear. She wanted this ability user to apologize to this ordinary middle-aged woman. The ability user frowned, somewhat reluctant. After all, he was an ability user. How could he apologize to an ordinary person? If word got out, wouldn't that be a blow to his reputation? Supernaturals are always superior to ordinary people. The woman looked at the superhuman's embarrassed expression. She quickly said, I just took a fall. Nothing serious happened. There's no need for this esteemed one to apologize. Tan Yi gave her a faint glance. The law states, superhumans are not allowed to attack ordinary people without reason. Otherwise, it will be classified as intentional assault. I wasn't the one who hurt you. Whether an apology is given or not has nothing to do with me. Was this a reminder that she could go to the police? The woman watched Tan Yi's departing figure. She seemed a bit dazed. It seemed like this was her first time encountering a superhuman who was this friendly towards ordinary people. Tan Yi left the hospital in low spirits. Woo, host. What should we do? We really have no energy left now. Now, even a slightly stronger, ordinary person could beat us up. Now forget about the system wanting to cry. She also wants to cry. After leaving the hospital, the two of them took a bus and arrived at the official training camp. Host, what are we doing here? Our purpose for coming out today is the repair fluid. So naturally, we should also check out the official training camp. We always hear them talk about ranking battles. We should at least know how these rankings work, Tan Yi said. And quickly found the staff inside. Can only say the official training camp truly lives up to its reputation. Even a receptionist is an ability user. Tan Yi was busy learning the ranking battle rules, unaware that right after she left the hospital, Teacher Li hurriedly followed the ambulance to this place. On the ambulance were more than 10 ice sculptures. How long were they trapped? A whole night passed. And no one noticed something was wrong? Facing the doctor's implicitly accusatory gaze, Teacher Lee was speechless. He thought it was just some childish squabble. How could he have known? This ice could trap more than 10 ability-using students for a whole night. Teacher Lee and Class 2's homeroom teacher, Teacher Wang, waited anxiously outside. Teacher Wang looked worried and said angrily, "Teacher Lee, you'd better pray that nothing happens to the students in our class. Otherwise, I'll make Tan Yi pay." Although Teacher Lee was also worried about these students, he wasn't happy to hear that. "What do you mean by make Tan Yi pay? Over a dozen students from your class went to cause trouble with her over the restoration fluid. Now they've been frozen like this. They brought it upon themselves." Just as the two were arguing fiercely, the doctor walked out of the emergency room. "Don't worry, they're fine for now." After announcing the results, he said to the students, with a laugh, "Don't go provoking such ultimate-level superhumans again in the future. Fortunately, they are superhumans too. Thick-skinned and tough. Otherwise, they wouldn't even know how they died." The doctor lifted his own frostbitten hand. "Perhaps because you're college entrance exam candidates, they only gave you a minor punishment. If they were serious, you'd already be done for." As these words were spoken, the air grew terrifyingly still. The doctor wanted to say more, but sensing the strange atmosphere, he turned around and saw the two teachers with stiff expressions. Teacher Lee staggered, feeling his whole body tremble. He wondered if he had misheard. What ultimate-level superhuman? Teacher Wang felt his ears ringing. "Doctor, you saying those soldiers? Ultimate ice?" The two teachers' jaws dropped. Ultimate ice? That's the pinnacle of natural type abilities. Only 1 in a million natural type users can become such an ultimate superpowered individual. A genius among 10,000. They chatted. "Looks like our high school is going to produce a top scholar." Just as Tan Yi was about to complain about the ranking rules, the system started going crazy. "Host, let's go up quickly. I can sense it. There's another energy source right above us." The system was so excited, it was almost jumping up and down. "It's not repair fluid, but it's similar. They're essentially the same. Hurry, the energy is so dense." Tan Yi didn't delay either. She quickly took the escalator up to the second floor. The second floor was noticeably more crowded than the first, and many of them were young faces. She noticed an open space in the middle of the second floor. A large crowd had gathered in that open area. The place was packed tight. A dense crowd formed a large circle. Heads were bustling all around. Discussions rose and fell. Everyone was curious about what was inside. Rising on her tiptoes, she saw the full view of that area. Several black floor tiles were laid out. They looked the same as ordinary floor tiles, square and regular. The only difference was, they were arranged in a circle, and there were people inside. "Yes, host. That's the place. I can sense. Those tiles contain special energy, just like the energy in the repair solution. Let's sneak over quietly. Take 2 puffs," the system urged excitedly. Although she knew she shouldn't. But Tan Yi was still shamelessly tempted. Right now, she had no money and no connections. If she wanted to gain power, she had to use extraordinary means. Of course, that's nonsense. "Wake up, system. There are so many people here. We're just 2 little weaklings. How could we, under everyone's watchful eyes, pull off such a freeloading act? Even if I agreed, the audience wouldn't." While saying this, her body honestly pushed forward. It couldn't really be called pushing. More like she moved ahead very smoothly. Smoothly, unbelievably so. The people nearby saw Tan Yi. Their eyes suddenly filled with astonishment. They all made way for her without prior agreement, allowing her to proceed to the front with incredible ease. The staff member was a superhuman. He appeared to be around 30 years old. When he saw the young girl slowly approaching him, he couldn't help but be slightly stunned. Her looks were extraordinary. Her aura was exceptional. At a glance, she was clearly a heaven's favored one. No need to stop her. Seeing the staff member's dazed expression, Tenyi tilted her head and asked, "Hello?" Her pleasant, clear voice instantly snapped him back to reality. "Miss, this round of the competition will end in 3 minutes. Please wait patiently for now." Tenyi nodded imperceptibly. Soon, she found the relevant information. It turned out the reason today's training camp was so crowded was because of those strange floor tiles. These tiles were provided by the higher-ups. They contained energy similar to the restoration fluid. However, the energy was too chaotic to be used directly, since they couldn't be used directly. But storing them in the warehouse was wasteful. The training camp decided to place them here to benefit the general public. Benefit the public? More like making money off them. Did they think she hadn't noticed the unusually fine print? If you couldn't last a certain amount of time in the trial, you had to pay 100,000 yuans. Tenyi complained inwardly. But the system was drooling over these stone tiles. "Host, it's these black floor tiles. They contain that strange energy. And it's extremely abundant. We just need to take a couple of whiffs from it. Then we won't have to worry about being punched flat." "System, are you sure you can absorb the energy inside? It's clearly written in black and white. If we can't hold on for half an hour, we'll have to pay 100,000. With our current assets, we couldn't scrape together that much even if we sold everything we own." After repeated assurances from the system, Tenyi reluctantly gritted her teeth and agreed. Soon, the 3 minutes were up. Everyone looked at the floor tiles, at the shadow of a failed ability user. They all broke out in a cold sweat. Tenyi was also sweating coldly in her heart. Before she could even back out, she heard a surprised voice nearby. "Didn't even one remain?" She followed the sound and looked, and saw a group of uniformly dressed youths. They were wearing the uniform of No. 2 High School. The boy who spoke said in surprise, "Such a simple test. Why couldn't even one person stay? Are the other schools that bad?" The boy's name is Zhou Ming. He's from the top-ranked No. 2 High School. The anger of the people around instantly flared up. Zhou Ming let out a disdainful laugh. "Ordinary high schools are truly garbage schools. Even the students are a bunch of trash." Tenyi glanced at Zhou Ming out of the corner of her eye. She remembered that Kington High School is also an ordinary high school. The staff shouted that the next round of the competition was about to begin. "Those who want to join, hurry up." Zhou Ming's eyes lit up. He was just about to be the first to enter. But unexpectedly, someone pushed him aside. He glared angrily at the person in front of him. "Who is it? Can't you see I'm here?" A young girl walked past him nonchalantly, as if she didn't even realize there was someone there. Tenyi walked up to the staff member. "I want to participate." The staff member nodded. "Name?" Tenyi glanced at Zhou Ming's unfriendly expression. "Kington High School." "Tenyi." Zhou Ming's expression turned even uglier. "So it's someone from an ordinary high school. No wonder they're so rude." Taking the voluntary participation agreement, Tenyi signed her name and walked into the venue unhurriedly. Her tone was calm. "Manners are reserved for those who deserve them, not for scum who haven't received any moral education." People around couldn't help but laugh. The behavior of the second high school students just now was exactly like those trash who haven't received any moral education. What's wrong with ordinary high schools? Did ordinary high schools offend you? We're all human beings. What gives you the right to look down on them? Hearing the faint laughter, Zhou Ming's face darkened even more. Soon, Tenyi stepped directly onto the black floor tiles. Zhou Ming still wanted to say something, but was silenced by a warning look from the teacher. He didn't dare to say anything more. He could only suppress his anger and enter the venue. He deliberately found a spot closer to Tenyi. Let me see how miserably you'll end up later. Tan Yi ignored his provocation. System, this is 100,000 bucks. If we fail, we'll have to sell a kidney. Are you really sure about this? The system was full of confidence. Don't worry, host. I guarantee we can absorb the energy we need from it. I definitely won't let you sell a kidney. After repeated confirmation, Tan Yi felt completely at ease. The competition soon began. The staff member said, as usual, the stone contains two types of energy. One can help you rapidly increase your cultivation speed. The other will impact your body, dealing a devastating blow to it. If you can't hold on, call for help in time. Nothing is more important than your life. If anyone wants to withdraw now or has other questions, please raise your hand. The venue fell silent. The staff member nodded. Just as he was about to call for the start, a delicate hand was raised. It was Tan Yi. Zhou Ming revealed a mocking smile. Before he could utter a taunt, Tan Yi asked, "Can I have a book? I'm afraid I might get bored later." The staff member looked surprised. "Of course. Do you have a specific request?" She shook her head. "Just give me a book that's interesting enough." After the staff confirmed that no one had any issues, they removed the device that was blocking the energy of the stone brick. In an instant, the people inside the stone brick felt as if their blood was flowing backward. A sharp, knife-like force was slicing into their bodies inch by inch. Zhou Ming had been lucky when the blocking device was active, using his own special ability to cope. Because he had experienced it once before, he was not as disheveled as the others. That girl from earlier must have been scared. Pale, serves her right, he thought bitterly through gritted teeth. His gaze shifted, wanting to catch a glimpse of her in a sorry state. But instead of seeing any distress, he saw the girl calmly flipping through a book, without a trace of pain on her face. In fact, when turning on the equipment, Tan Yi was indeed just like them. He sensed that vast and complex power, but the system quickly blocked the pain sensation, just like when she stepped into the arena. Now, aside from feeling numb all over, he felt nothing at all. So much energy. I'll absorb it. I'll absorb it. After the system blocked its host's pain perception, it began frantically absorbing the energy from the floor tiles. While absorbing, it kept whining tearfully. "It's been so tough. I finally get to eat, Wa." Seeing it absorb so eagerly, Tan Yi felt extremely relieved inside. The system was a part of her. While it was eating, she also felt a warm current flowing throughout her body, ultimately gathering in her abdomen. She did not disturb it. She opened the novel she had just obtained and began to read. Thus, the crowd saw the young girl standing amidst the people, calmly reading her own book. Amidst this clamor, she seemed to be living in another world. Even as the crowd surged around her, she couldn't be bothered to look up. Without saying a word, she unknowingly divided the world into pure and murky realms, and she existed in a realm of her own. For a moment, the crowd was mesmerized. Someone in the crowd muttered to themselves, "Tan Yi is so strange. Why does that name sound familiar?" These words were heard by those nearby. They one by one stopped what they were doing. Earlier, busy being angry, they hadn't paid attention. Now, hearing someone say this, an indescribable sense of familiarity circled in their hearts. They felt as if they had heard this name somewhere before, but just couldn't say it. "Now that you mention it, it does sound a bit familiar. I must have heard of her. But where exactly did I hear it? Holy shit, I remember. It's that genius from Kington High School. The legendary one. The #1 genius." And Tan Yi had no idea what the crowd was talking about. She only thought the novel in her hands was really good. The system tirelessly continued absorbing energy from the floor tiles, this hard-won delicacy. Who knows when the next chance to enjoy this will come? Time passed minute by minute. The number of people taking the test visibly decreased. At this moment, Zhou Ming was struggling to hold on. While staring intently at Tan Yi, he refused to believe that a privileged elite from a top high school like him could lose to a piece of trash who had been eliminated. Yet half an hour later, Tan Yi was still sitting there, completely at ease. Aside from her, only a few people remained in the arena. Most of them were still wearing Zhang's school uniforms. Although Zhang students were unpleasant to listen to, their skills truly crushed students from other schools. Tan Yi heard the staff announce that time was up. It was her first time here, so she wasn't very familiar with the rules. She hesitated about whether to leave, but noticed others still gritting their teeth and persisting. Seeing none of them move, she decided to stay put as well, calmly reading her book there. Oh, God, they're all so amazing. It's been almost an hour, and they can still stay inside. A passerby exclaimed in awe. Only 2 people remained on the stone bricks now. One was Zhou Ming from Zhang. The other was the unruffled Tan Yi. It must be said, Zhou Ming's arrogance was backed by some real capability. Tan Yi glanced at his flushed face out of the corner of her eye. If she didn't have an advantage, she would have been eliminated long ago. Yet he actually persisted until now. Is this the capability of a top high school student? She felt university slipping further and further away from her. While she was sizing up Zhou Ming was also sizing her up. Cold sweat dripped continuously from his temples, but the girl beside him showed no change in expression. As if she couldn't feel the violent energy from the stone bricks at all. Is this her true strength? A mouthful of fresh blood spurted from Zhou Ming's mouth. His face turned deathly pale. Zhou Ming, the teacher from school 2, hurriedly pulled him back from the venue, taking out healing medicine from the bag and feeding it to him. Zhou Ming looked on unwillingly at the girl, still standing firmly among the stone bricks. She sat there dressed in white. Not even his withdrawal earned a single glance from her. She was arrogantly unapproachable. Everyone couldn't help but gulp. 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours passed. Tan Yi still sat there. Everyone gasped in astonishment. Oh, my God. Among the top candidates for this year's Arts College entrance exam, besides Hua Shang from School 1, Zhou Fu from School 2, and Gu Li from School 6, no one else had been seen who could last so long on these stone bricks. It seems the top scorer position, Kington's Tan Yi, might also have a chance to compete. Zhou Ming swallowed hard. She had been waiting here from noon until night. But as dusk turned into sunset, and sunset turned into night, the person still sat there perfectly straight. She gazed at that person in confusion. Just how strong is she? Under the crowd's expectant gazes, Tan Yi finally closed the novel in her hands. She stood up, not noticing the admiring looks from those around her. She returned the book to the staff member. The staff member was overjoyed and quickly took it back. May I ask, is it over? Tan Yi shook her head. She glanced at the sky outside and asked seriously, can we stay overnight at the training camp? After leaving the training camp, the system was whining and crying in her head. Stinky host, bad host. Why did you let my meal get away from me? Tan Yi listened to the system's words and smiled. She went to the bathroom alone. If not for the system accompanying her, she would have been too scared to go out. Before she could even wipe the smile off her face, a figure appeared in front of her. It was Zhou Ming. Tan Yi stopped walking. Is something wrong? Zhou Ming looked at the girl in front of him with a complicated expression. He pressed his lips together. Just as he was about to say words of apology, the image of her arrogantly ignoring him today appeared in his mind. The words on the tip of his tongue twisted into something else. Accident? Did you think you were amazing? To tell you the truth, Zhou Fu, who's ranked first in number 2 high school, is my brother. Don't think that just because you beat me, you can act all arrogant. My brother is 100 times better than me. You're definitely no match for him. Tan Yi's jade-like face now showed a trace of confusion. So, looking at Guo Sheng's face in front of him, Zhou Ming's face flushed red. So close. She's so beautiful, he forced himself to say. So if you run into my brother during the exam, you'd better be careful. After saying that, he felt his heart racing uncontrollably. Before he could do anything embarrassing, he panicked and hurried away. Tan Yi watched his retreating figure. Her lips slightly parted. There were just too many things to pick on. For a moment, she didn't even know where to start. Should she praise this deeply moving brotherly bond? Or should she feel sorry for his brother having such a useless sibling? She asked the system, "Am I already strong enough to compete with two high school's top student?" In a match? The system paused for a moment, then replied with certainty, "Absolutely not. Host, we're just the trash among trash. Do you remember when we used our ultimate move? And all we did was freeze someone? Judging by that, the host's strength is utterly pathetic. So what we need to do now is work hard to improve our power." From what that kid said, his brother must be really strong. Not Kington. The people from high school who could easily freeze you. If we encounter them, they could crush us with a single slap. Wait until the host is strong enough to fight. Then it won't be too late to challenge them. The system earnestly offered her advice, although something felt off. Due to her lack of understanding about this world, Tan Yi naturally believed what the system said. In this world, anyone might harm her. Except for the system. So she nodded with a serious expression. "I understand. Before we become strong, we must lay low and bide our time." Tan Yi was also feeling relieved at this moment. If not for the system's reminder earlier, her heart would have become arrogant. She had actually been thinking that since she could defeat the number 2 high school students, maybe she could also defeat the students from Kington High School. However, the system's words completely shattered the little fantasy in her heart. Ugh, what was she thinking? Although she has a system, it can't help her catch up, in just a few days, to the average level of art students in this world's college entrance exam. How could over a decade of others' hard work be inferior to her cheat? As for the first day, when she was dragged onto the platform, it was one person and one bucket. She automatically assumed the teacher intervened to protect her, while the homeroom teacher mistaken the target, thinking she was the one who defeated Lin Mai, which led to the subsequent bullying incident. Lin Mai just wanted to take back what was rightfully hers, but that bottle of stuff had already been drunk. It couldn't be retrieved. She had no choice but to fight back. Thinking of the innocent Lin Mai, Tan Yi thought it over. If there was another chance to get restoration fluid in the future, she would have to return a bottle to her. The next day, Tan Yi came to the training camp as usual. After the energy loss from yesterday's training, Tan Yi immediately got up. Under everyone's puzzled gazes, she headed straight for the arena matches. After all, as long as she made it to the top 100 list, she would get 1 restoration fluid per week. Let the system absorb more energy and maintain herself. Her genius persona would be solid. As luck would have it, when Tan Yi arrived at the arena, every ring was buzzing with intense fights. She chose the most popular ring and watched from the spectator stands. The arena host was now giving an impassioned commentary. "Well, our classmate Gao Yue is using the hard nature of rock to counter water's pressure. This is already his 3rd match against classmate Muan. If he wins, he will take classmate Mulan's spot, entering the top 5 of the Battle 100 ranking. But defeating a higher-ranked opponent is no simple task. He seems to be struggling now. So, can he actually succeed?" These words seemed to ignite the passion of the live audience. "Gao Yue, just take down Mulan, and you'll be ranked 5th. The onlookers were thrilled, wishing they could jump in and fight in the player's place. Tan Yi looked at the fresh scars on the 2 fighters in the arena and felt a sympathetic pain himself. Oh, my God. Is this the world of supernatural students? It looks terrifying. Her voice was drowned out by the intense cheers. The winner had now been decided on stage. Dripping water wears through stone. No matter how hard the rock is, it cannot withstand the penetrating power of water. Naturally, the lizard can regenerate. After seeing the result of the win, although some were disappointed, it was still within expectations. Seeing that the outcome was decided, the host said, with a smile, "Congratulations to our student Muan. He has successfully defended his 5th place throne." On the arena, Gao Yue wiped the blood from his forehead and curled his lips. "Next time, definitely won't lose to you." Muan, fearless, replied, "Next time, you will still lose." The arena was filled with the smell of gunpowder. After Gao Yue left the stage, the atmosphere reached its peak. Everyone was shouting Mulan's name, and Mulan faced the audience with an arrogant expression. Seeing this, the host asked with a smile, "If there are no new challengers, then this month's 5th place still belongs to student Mulan. So, are there any other students who want to challenge?" Mulan looked arrogantly at the frenzied crowd. Amid the cheers of the crowd, no one raised a hand to oppose him anymore. The host smiled while looking at these crazy fans, just about to announce the 5th of this month. Or rather, the chosen one on stage. A delicate, slender hand was raised. "I want to challenge." The surrounding air instantly fell silent. Mulan's gaze fell upon the owner of that hand. Tan Yi lifted her eyes. Her eyes were clear and untroubled. Her gaze seemed cold and unapproachable. "I want to challenge." Under the crowd's incredulous stares, the cameraman aimed the lens at Tan Yi. The people below gasped in shock. That flawless face on the big screen was breathtakingly beautiful. They couldn't muster even a hint of scorn. Tan Yi lifted her eyes. Her face showed no expression. "System, why are we going to challenge that winning guy? I've heard he's ranked 5th. Are you trying to get me killed faster?" "They're talking nonsense." The system looked at the ranking it had found and directly transmitted the data to its host's mind. The 5th place on the top 100 university rankings is named Zi Yang. That guy called Mulan. I didn't see his name on the list at all. Tan Yi looked, and it was true. In the information transmitted by the system, within the top 100 university rankings, the top 100 simply didn't include the names Gao, Yue, or Mulan. Then what was the 5th thing they shouted? Perhaps it's the order of today's stage challenges. He is the 5th challenger. Before having the chance to learn more, Tan Yi heard the host say, "Please welcome the challenger to the stage." She was just about to go on stage when she heard someone say indignantly, "How can this be? Mulan just fought such a tough battle. Not giving him any rest is bad enough. But now, they're eager to make him fight a second round. Isn't this just taking advantage of his weakened state? To challenge him? Under normal circumstances, she wouldn't dare challenge Senior Mu like this." Tan Yi's steps toward the stage came to a halt. The person who said this was sitting in the first row. A girl named Zhang Yi. She was close to the microphone, so even if she spoke very softly, at this moment, it was clearly heard by everyone present. Tan Yi stopped. Under the gaze of everyone present, she halted, her steps forward, found a seat, and sat down. The host couldn't understand this move. "Please, challenger, come up to the stage." She sat there calmly, even took out her Bluetooth earphones, just as everyone was confused. The girl in the first row named Zhang Yi spoke up again. But, she said smugly, yet matter-of-factly, "It seems some people still have a sense of shame. After what I said, she's too embarrassed to challenge anymore." Quietly backed off. "Host, hurry up and announce. This month's number 5 is still Senior Mu." Although half doubting the girl's claim, out of politeness, the host inquired, "Challenger, do you wish to forfeit the challenge?" Tan Yi, halfway through hearing it, lifted her head expressionlessly. I'm waiting for him to recover. Soon 2 hours passed. Mulan gestured to the host by extending his hand. The host immediately understood his meaning. All right, our champion has recovered. Please, challenger, come up to the stage. Tan Yi removed her Bluetooth earphones and put them in her pocket, unhurriedly walked up to the arena. This could be considered her first real battle system. Are you sure there's no problem? Host, you need to have confidence in your own abilities. Tan Yi swallowed hard. What ability does she have? She's just a noob. And in the eyes of the audience, the girl seemed to be in the wrong place. This is clearly an intense and passionate arena, yet she shows no expression at all. Even when facing a strong opponent like Mulan, she doesn't seem to care. Mulan calmly waits for her to step onto the stage. He is neither panicked nor impatient. In his prime, everyone had to steer clear off his edge, so he is sure to win. Mulan gathers countless water droplets. He says lightly, "Sorry, I don't have time to play with you, so please just step down quietly." Invisible water converges from all directions. They form a whirlwind, vortex, and shoot straight toward the arena like blades, full of oppressive force. The water is like a tornado. The blood quickly spread across the entire ring. Tan Yi, however, remained completely still. Some viewers began to feel puzzled. Could it be that You've given up the struggle? And Zhang Yi even mocked. Is she so scared that her legs have gone weak? I said. She's just trying to get seniors' attention. That's why you came running to challenge. Third-rate goods. Relying on Butaido gained sympathy. What else could it be but third-rate goods? This is an era where strong are revered. Everyone's gaze is fixed upon. Yet Tan Yi remained completely motionless. She naturally heard what that girl said. He said it without any reservation. The tone was filled with intense malice toward himself. Tan Yi pursed his lips. She admitted Thatch came to challenge. But I will absolutely never admit it. He will rely on his appearance to gain sympathy. You absolutely must not be a vase. That's only good for its looks. Mulan glanced faintly at Tan Yi. A trace of disappointment folds in his eyes. You look like this. I thought you had some real skill. Is he just a good-for-nothing after all? The next moment, Everyone's thoughts came to an abrupt halt. Just as the waterspout is about to strike Tan Yi, she raised her eyes. A destructive aura spread from Tan Yi. Mulan suddenly turned his head. Countless chill spread from her body. Those indifferent eyes carried a faint shade of blue. She announced his death without a trace of emotion. This overwhelming chill. Everyone present shuddered. Mulan desperately blocked the cold from sweeping through his entire body. But it's too late now. The young girl gently pointed. He was as if frozen, unable to move. He could only watch helplessly as that cold gleam shot straight toward him. Under Council's bombardment of ice and frost, everyone was dazzled. There was a loud noise. The stage was instantly enveloped in a white mist. Wait until the fog clears. The girl on the stage stood there quietly. Directly in front of her was someone being held from behind by a person dressed in black. Mulan's face was full of terror. Everyone wasted for a moment. The room fell silent. I just fought with Mulan a moment ago. Gao Yue, who knew Mulan's true strength. At this moment, he was so shocked that his jaw dropped. Absolute strength annihilists all. A complete and utter annihilation. The girl stood there. It seemed as simple as just raising a hand. The lipstick in Zhang Yishan fell to the ground. She didn't have a time to pick it up. His face gradually became ferocious. She should just be a trophy wife. Why does a vase have such formidable capabilities? No one paid attention to she was acting crazy. Everyone knows. From the moment that person came out, Mulan lost. Completely defeated. Gao Yue, however, was staring at that tall figure. The corner of Themith trembled slightly. Referee. It's just a simple competition for high school students. Why did the referee show up? Supernatural students' matches cannot have referees. Unless Gao Yue swallowed hard. Shocked, he stared at the expressionless girl. Unless she is no longer an Esper student. But superhumans. Among this year's college entrance exam candidates, there are actually official superpower users. For this all-powerful college entrance exam super student, this is simply terrible news. Tan Yi looked at the opponent who had already been rescued. I was only half convinced by what the system said. Now, she's 90% convinced. This person is indeed not on the top 100 list. With one slap from her, he collapsed. People on the top 10 list aren't that weak. But she has defeated someone now. It should be comparable to their superpower students. Now, the system detected her thoughts. After checking the information in Lean, I was shocked. Host, where are we now? But I just defeated a water-type superpower student. Don't think you've caught up with the very own just because you can't do it. Tan Yi thought for a moment. Not to that extent, I was just thinking. We shouldn't be considered combat novices now. After all, I just beat him fair and square. The system said in a hurry. The reason we can beat others. That's because is a water user. We are of the ice element. He happens to be his natural nemesis. So we froze the water. Only then can we win so easily. Tan Yi laughed and said. Then we still won. Does this mean we still have hope of achieving good results? The system remains silent. Now is the time to be happy. The host is walking on thin ice. It's been so long. Finally, we can see a glimmer of hope. Han Yi slowly lowered his hand. In this dangerous world, nothing gives her a greater sense of security than formidable strength. But it's still not enough. She still needs to be stronger. What is the current average level of supernatural students in the system? Based on what I know, the current average level of awakened individuals should be considered as epiphany. Sudden enlightenment, ESO called sudden enlightenment. It's the superpower user in the palm of the hand. Develop your own unique totem. And the person you just defeated, he doesn't have a totem at all. Tan Yi glanced at Muan absent-mindedly. Indeed, it was in the palm of his hand. Indeed, there is no totem as described by the system. Then the one I just defeated. Could it be that he's even more of a loser than we are? Although Tan Yi was disappointed in his heart, but a sudden sense of shared suffering arose in my heart. A sense of mutual admiration and understanding. Why should the weak pick on the weak? She sighed. He stepped down from the stage amidst complete silence. The host snapped back to attention. Congratulations to our challenger. Successfully secured the 5th position. Who still wants to challenge newly promoted number 5 now? The scene fell into complete silence. The joke was so bad that even the referee had to step in. Who still dares to challenge her? Seeing that no one was speaking up, the host looked at Tan Yi with a smile. Congratulations to the challenger for securing the 5th seat. Can obtain training camp. 2 repair serums applied weekly. The venue erupted in thunderous applause. Only Tan Yi showed little expression. What's going on here? How did she win against someone even weaker than her? You can also obtain repair fluid. Could it be the poverty alleviation policy? And what's going on with this 5th one? Understanding her confusion, the system immediately began searching for her. Just a short while ago, he used his phone to search for the training camp. Then I unexpectedly found one called Love One Another. Gaokao Supernatural Students Informant Exchange Group. Inside are a bunch of high school students from all over the country. Every day, we exchange all kinds of information in the group. It looks at its host, who is about to take the college entrance exam, and thinks, we need all kinds of information. So I used the host's account to join in. It immediately raised the question in the group chat. Someone soon answered the host. About this boot camp, some say that besides the top 100 universities ranking, there's still one more. It was a top 100 list initiated by the local government itself. That list is very easy to get on. Usually it's themed of the month. A great place for poor super-powered students to score freebies. The system says so. Tan Yi understood. As expected of a government institution. Private tutoring for impoverished students with exceptional talents in the Gaokao. This is just too good. Happy as can be. She glanced again, a bit embarrassed. The boy who was defeated by her. Sorry, dude. We also need their pair solution. Cannot give it to you. However, this glancy in Mulan's eyes. It's simply the compassion of the strong for the weak. He gripped his hand tightly. Recalling the attack from earlier still sends shivers down my spine. He felt waves of despair washing over his heart. How can this person be so powerful? So powerful that he had no chance to resist. The host watched as he left the ring. Tan Yi went to get repair solution. In a hurry, he shouted, "Hey! Classmate, don't leave yet. You still haven't told Muhik school you're from." Stop shouting. Gao Yue lazily walked over to the host. Watching the girl's receding figure, he let out a light laugh. She is Tan Yi from Qingtan High School. Mulan was stunned. She is Tan Yi. Gao Yue glanced at him. Then, he looked at the girl's retreating figure. He sighed and said, "I'm a genius. It lives up to its reputation." Knowing that this person is Tan Yi, Mulan and Gao Yu exchanged a glance. If they remember correctly, the art mock exam 1 week later will be held at the art center. They will meet again. Less than 15 minutes. The news of today's matches spread to every school. Qingtan High School has also received the news. The principal stroked his chin. He looked toward the gentle and handsome teacher standing nearby. Raised an eyebrow. "Mr. Yan, you don't seem surprised. If Tan Yi were here right now, would definitely not recognize." At this moment, Fishin some young man. That's the one who blocked hair attack on the first day in the ring. He is also someone whom Cheongdam High School has gone to great lengths to recruit. Please hire a special instructor. Gone is that old-fashioned black glasses frame. Yan Wen's handsome face is clearly visible. He is very young. He looks only a few years older than Tan Yi. He smiled without leaving a trace. As expected, Principal Zhang was amused. You already knew her department. Yan Wen did not deny it. When he blocked that strike in the ring, he did notice something. It was just an accident. I never expected to be involved in such a trivial matter. They're really are geniuses like this. A pleasant surprise. Principal Zhang curled his lips disdainfully. Isn't this a pleasant surprise? They found a huge bargain in Qingtan, Yan Wen said. I remember Qingtan has a match against Yizhong tomorrow. She will also go. Principal Zhang nodded. Of course, she is our star player from Cheongdam. Of course, I'm going. Why are you suddenly concerned about this? Yan Wen raised an eyebrow. A faint smile flickered in his eyes. After the match, please hand her over to me for training. Thinking of that girl, pure and clear as ice, he put away his expression. He said, with a serious expression, she does not belong here. I will take her to here she belongs. Principal Zhang sighed. Amidst the vastness, there also a hint of melancholy. There's no need to worry about this. Her father. I had long been prepared to bring her to the capital. All that's needed is the favorable wind of the college entrance exam. This small city could never hold me back. Yan Wen, the resident, nodded, without saying anything more. In recent years, more and more wormholes are appearing around the world. Those wormholes are like whack-a-moles. They kept emerging from different places, one after another. Everywhere is so busy they can hardly keep their feet on the ground. But the country was still thrown into chaos. One wormhole after another keeps appearing, densely packed. It makes people flustered and disorganized. Because the number of wormholes that have appeared is just too many. The country is facing a shortage of talent. It's almost impossible to manage. The situation has reached a critical point. If not, nor would they send college students like them who haven't graduated. inspecting the possible location of the wormhole. If it weren't for reaching the point where there's no one else to use, then why would they be so eager to make them? University students who haven't graduated yet take over the baton. It is because the country now needs strong individuals, so he doesn't want Anna Genius to be overlooked. The next day, as soon as Tanya stepped onto the campus, Teacher Lee came looking for him. Tan Yi is going to Kalangino, one high school today. The time is set for 9:30. After the first class was over, you just go to the playground. Teacher Yan will be waiting there. Tan Yi was compelled to bewildered by the challenge. Knowing her doubts, Teacher Lee said it's just a friendly match. You don't need to worry too much. Thinking of my beloved disciplined ice-based superpower, he said again. The players sent by both sides this time are not very strong. So please go easy on me. He is genuinely afraid of the person sent by Yizhong to compete. Those few from class 2 also ended up in the hospital with frostbite. Tan Yi felt relieved. He nodded with an indifferent expression. Since you are not a strong person, then she can. Ordinary people are openly grinding through practice problems. In reality, he was secretly vesdring on their conversation. Seeing her calm and indifferent expression, they immediately in shock. If they remember correctly, the fragrance of flowers at Yizhong, it seems like he is a top candidate for this year's top scorer in the Bay City College entrance examination. Long-term top 3 in Wanchi training camp. This teacher still needs her to go easy on him. Their hearts tightened. How strong is this person really? Too good of a system. From what the homoramtiaker implied, the people competing later are not that strong. Perhaps they're just as bad as we are. As long as you put in the effort to show off, the likelihood of us being exposed is greatly reduced. Tan Yi's eyes lit up slightly. It didn't take long. The class dismissal bell rings. Tan Yi followed Teacher Lu's instructions and went to the playground. A bus is parked on the playground. Several classmates were already waiting around the car. A sentimental and magnetic voice came through after a while. Tan Yi looked in the direction of the voice. So it was him. That teacher on the ring, still wearing that same old-fashioned black frame. Tan Yi was about to get in the car when, unexpectedly, he stopped me. Tan Yi, classmate. Your place is with me. Teacher Yan smiled gently and said. Upon hearing this, the girl paused in her tracks. Why is it different when it's someone else? At this moment, he should be frightened by her icy attitude. But he is Yan Wen. Facing this girl who has just come of age, he explained gently. To ensure safety, she herself was different from those ordinary classmates on the bus. It's not even on the same level. If anything unexpected happens along the way, she accidentally used her supernatural ability, she might hurt other classmates. For the safety of other students, that's why she was assigned to be by his side. Once everyone is here, the bus is starting to move. At this moment, Tan Yi felt utterly disgusted. The smell of engine oil mixed with the air conditioning spread through the tip of her nose. It made her stomach churn. But it's still in Horsdrift to know. One middle school. If this continues, she's going to be disgusted to death. You get carsick. A warm, surprised voice came from beside me. Tan Yi did not respond. She was afraid that if she answered, she wouldn't be able to hold back from vomiting. She bit her lip tightly. Wen gazed at the delicate face tinged with the touch of pallor. He frowned. I'm fine. The girl's cool and pleasant voice came through. Because of motion sickness, Tan Yi's hair is disheveled at this moment. Dazed look. There was no longer the usual aloofness. Instead, it carried a sense of brokenness after being defeated. So beautiful it takes my breath away. Yan Wen's pitch-black eyes watched quietly for a while. But in the blink of an eye, he unnaturally averted his gaze. I do have an idea. A way to keep classmate Yi from getting carsick. I just don't know if you can accept it. Tan Yi rested his head on one hand. He said calmly, please speak. Yan Wen is not surprised by her choice. He said softly, I'm from a special department. Superpowers can briefly put people to sleep. I just don't know if classmate Tanya is willing to trust me this once. The supernatural abilities in this world are divided into 5 types. The difference is that Logia type users can control natural elements. Enhancement type that can strengthen one's own body. Healing type that can cure. Control type that dominates the field. Mysterious and unfathomable ability type. Among them, those who possess enhancement type abilities are the most numerous. Nature is second. Next is the healing type. And those last 2 departments are almost never seen. Because the quantity's too scarce, so from the moment it was detected, they will be officially designated for cultivation. Even universities can make exceptions to lower their admission scores for them. Because consciousness is the innate commander. And the special department are natural concealers. As a versatile special type, the supernatural abilities they possess are all sorts of strange. It really does help you fall asleep quickly. Tan Yi didn't think too much. Nodded in agreement. No worries, we still have the TAM system anyway. Seeing her agree, Yanwen quickly used his telepathic ability on her. I don't know why. A lullaby sounded in Tan Yi's ear. Her eyelids grew heavier and heavier. An hour later, Tan Yi woke up on time. She stared at the alien creature right before her eyes. I can't help but admire his ability. The ability to control supernatural powers with such precise timing. This teacher's strength is unfathomable. The teachers from Yizhonghe already brought a team to pick people up. The teachers from both sides were busy discussing the procedures, preparing for a spar. Outstanding students from various schools. After saying hello, an inexplicable spark was faintly palpable in the air. Obviously, everyone knows that we're here for today. Tan Yi is not familiar with Yin Wen, so I walked to the end of the line. After the teacher left, she also followed them calmly and unhurriedly. It's just this overline different demeanor. The people at Yizhong were on high alert. One of the girls with a ponytail, grabbing the short-haired girl, who seemed to be the leader, she said. That's Tan Yi. Are you confident you can defeat her? Hu Sheng gazed deeply at that girl. To be honest, no. I thought so. The girl with the ponytail shrugged her shoulders. But don't worry. I will go on stage before you. I did my utmost to help you test her abilities. For the sake of one China. The fragrance of flowers, you absolutely must not lose. Fragrant Flower's expression was grave. As the number 1 high school, all the pressure of this match was entirely on her. Tan Yi is not an ordinary person. She is the legendary top talent in the breaststroke. Not long ago, there was news again a Booth's ability to instantly defeat Muan. This is hard not to make people feel apprehensive. But so what? For the glory of number 1 high school, she will absolutely not admit defeat. The two of them walk side by side. The air is thick with smell of gunpowder. When he reached the center ring, it's already overcrowded. The teacher from Yuzhen gasped if it was still early. Have you all had breakfast yet? Tan Yi originally intended to reach out. But seeing everyone errand nodding in unison, her hand couldn't be lifted. But this subtle action, still, she was spotted by a teacher from her high school who had been keeping an eye on her. This classmate did not eat breakfast. Do you need the teacher to take you to the cafeteria to eat something first? Everyone's eyes turned toward her in unison. Han Yi was being watched by so many eyes. Inexplicably, I feel the pressure is immense. She shook her head. I get carsick. I can't stand theatres at Yizhong. What else do you want to say? But he was interrupted by Yanwen, who was standing nearby. All teachers, can the match start soon? You heard it too. My student didn't eat breakfast. Yat Chung teacher frowned. She hasn't eaten anything. You'll run out of energy later. Tan Yi looked over. His indifferent gaze swept over every single person. It won't take long if nothing happens. This means the students from Yizhong are weak. It won't take them long to solve it at all. The teacher from Yizhong had an unpleasant expression. How much does she look down on they students of No. 1 high school? The girl with the ponytail was slightly stunned. Everyone says Ten Yi's arrogant by nature. Now, it seems it truly lives up to its reputation. Fa Hyung's face was gloomy. She is a student at No. 1 middle school. Also the first at Yizhong. She cannot tolerate others looking down on her alma mater like this. She will pay Thepris for her arrogance. Tan Yi keenly sensed that as soon as she said those words, the middle school student's expression changed instantly. He looked at her with a faintly hostile gaze. What did she say wrong? Just a fight. How long can this go on? 3 minutes per personas, the absolute maximum. The battle on both sides has begun. The people of Kington High School are breathing heavily. Their mood was as excited as summer when they arrived. Now, it's as cold as winter. Students from key high schools know. The gap between us and regular high school students is very large. But I never expected the gap to be this huge. Start and end on time. The battle had not even been going on for 15 minutes. People from Cheongdam High School. Except for Tan Yi, who was arranged by Taker Yan to be the last to take the stage. Only the class monitor of Class 2, Lin Cha, remains. At this moment, Lin Cha transformed into a 2-meter-tall giant. He raised his huge fist. He threw a punch straight at the enemy. The spot that was hit immediately formed a giant crater. What great strength! His opponent exclaimed in admiration. Lin Cha's opponent. That's the girl with the ponytail. Her gaze fell upon that massive crater. A solemn glint flashed in his eyes. You dodged quickly enough. Lin Cha watched as the girl dodged his attack. The heaviness in my heart grows even deeper. Ma Zhu smiled. The soles of the feet twitched. Quickly arriving before him, he raised his fist. I dodged that just in time. This is my real ability. Seeing the fist coming down, Lin Cha instinctively blocked it. But unexpectedly, the punch hat was originally thrown. The direction changed in an instant. The left side of his face was accidentally hit, breaking a new record. Then it's time to close the net. Ma Zhu's eyes flashed with a sharp glint. Relying on one's own speed. Teleported to the back. Straight to the neck. Tan Yi watched from offstage, his face filled with horror. The system doesn't realize until it takes a look. One look, and I was startled. Are the people at our school really this weak? At this moment, she fell into doubt. These people aren't even as good as Muan. If this is the general standard, then what has she been so apprehensive about all these days? The system fell silent. This is different from what it found. Host. Your innate talent is naturally better than theirs. That's why they seem weak. In fact, this type of supernatural student, besides being a bit stronger than ordinary people, the rest are no different from ordinary people. Is that so? Tan Yi reached out his hand. A circular piece of ice quickly formed in the palm of his hand. I was just about to ask how to tell from where the talent attributes come from. Then I saw the girl with the ponytail. The moving butterfly shadow. Damn, that's fast. Is this a speed thought a human can achieve? It scared her so much that she immediately withdrew her eyes. Oh, my God. I haven't been in a state where I don't need to be beaten up. Snapped out of it. I was shocked into a cold sweat by students from the Key High School. Tan Yi swallowed hard. Thankfully, I have a poker face. Even if my face holds surprise now, I can't see anything at all. System? Did you see clearly how that girl moved just now? The system nodded. She has wind-based superpowers. If the focus of cultivation is placed on speed, it can indeed achieve rapid movement. Tan Yi made a bitter face. Is this fast moving? This is simply an illusion. It's over. It'll be my turn soon. Isn't this going to be the end of me? There was a loud bang on the stage. The 2-meter-tall giant collapsed on the stage. Lin Cha lost. The atmosphere at Kington High School was heavy and tense. There are a total of 10 matches in the competition. 9 times out of 10, you lose. This transcript is a slap in the face to everyone present. Let these spoiled elites who were pampered at Cheongdam High School. Too embarrassed to lift my head. This huge blow left Avarion utterly stunned. Lin Mai, asked the teacher with reddened eyes. Can we still get Tinto University? As soon as these words were spoken, everyone turned to look, including Tan Yi and the others. There is still an indescribable hope in his eyes. Years of effort in a single day. They don't want to fail the exam. Seeing so many pairs of eyes, Yan Wen hesitated and said, this. As long as you put in some effort, a second-tier university'll be within reach. He doesn't know much about the admission score cutoffs in City-wide. Tan Yi heard The's hesitant words. Lowered my gaze. The top students of Kingtan High School. You didn't even meet the cutoff for a second-tier university? Yan Wen still wanted to say something. But then they heard the teacher from Yizhong urging them. What are you algathering together for? Are we still competing or not? Are you still rushing to eat breakfast? Hurry up, we still have class later. The gaze of the crowd. They all fell upon the girl, who had remained silent the entire time. They still have Tan Yi. Her strength is formidable. We will definitely not lose. Are you here yet? The absent-minded look on Huaxiang's face vanished. She doesn't care about the other students at Cheongdam High School. She only cares about Tan Yi. Seeing her take the stage, the teachers at Yizhong can't help but feel nervous. This is something we have to take up with them. A strong contender, fourth top scorer at Yizhong. His ability is absolutely unmatched by any other student. Ma Zhu watched as the young girl slowly walked onto the stage, grinning from ear to ear. Finally, an interesting goppant has arrived. Those previous small fries, so weak that I don't even feel like bothering. The young girl didn't speak, looking at her with an indifferent expression. Very good indeed. So arrogant. Now I'm going to get serious. Ma Zhu exerted his utmost movement technique. In an instant, he arrived before Tan Yi. Tan Yi's heart tightened. Much faster than her. Way too fast. Ma Zhu looked at the person in front of him. A delicate facet void of any emotion. Squinted. He raised his fist and swung it down. Staring at the person in front of me. The speed is hard to catch. This punch visibly lost weight. The person enthusing said in surprise. Even Ma Zhu was surprised and not to raise an eyebrow when it hit. It hurts that Tan Yi took a punch for nothing. My chest feels as if it's been struck by a stone. She gasped in pain, making her inhale sharply. Pain has been blocked. Just as the pain made her vision go black, the system's voice sounded promptly. The pain in his body was completely concealed. Host, are you okay? Tan Zitong asked worriedly. She shook her head again. No worries, fortunately you took away the pain from my body. The match is still ongoing. Ma Zhu looked at the one who had taken a palm strike from him. The girl who is still completely unscathed. The heaviness in my heart grew even more. She is not as carefree as appears on the surface. I just gave her a slap a moment ago. My hand felt as if feet had touched ice. She pursed her lips. They launched another round of attacks. Countless figures flashed before Tan Yi's eyes. She was dazzled, just about to take action, but came up empty-handed. Just as she was hesitating, the system shouted, "She's on the left." Almost subconsciously, Tan Yi hides to the right. It only took a few minutes on the right. She keeps avoiding. Ma Zhu is just like a mosquito. I can hear a buzzing sound, but I can't find where the person is. The host is charging straight at you. Tan Yi heard this. An extreme chill emanated from his body. When she was attacking herself, quickly grabbed that hand. Ma Zhu had given her a palm strike right from the start. No one dared to approach again. Although they repeatedly sneak attacks, but he didn't dare attack her from the front again. In other words, she was afraid to confront her directly. There is something on her front that makes her apprehensive. What is it? She seems to know the answer. Ma Zu only felt a sudden cold weakness in his wrist. The cold seemed to invade her meridians, leaked her strength. It rendered her incapable of resisting. She still wanted to struggle. Yet, the girl before him was as pure as a piece of ice, curled up thick corners of the mouth. You're afraid of my coldness. At this moment, Max knew he had lost. Let go of me right now. My wrist is almost frozen by you. Hearing her admit defeat, Tan Yi immediately withdrew the cold air in his hand. Let go of her. Ma Zu withdrew his hand. Pursing his lips, he muttered, what the hell? What's with your coldness? I have seen it before. Ice-type ability user. You're not as scary as any of them. Tan Yi did not answer her. Jokes are such a thing. Yourself doesn't know how to respond to others. Is this what Tang Sitong was talking about? High innate attributes. Her emotions are just a bit colder than others. Ma Zu looks at the floral fragrance. Shrug, you saw it too. It's not that I didn't want to help, but I really can't do it. The fragrance of flowers furrowed its brow. I saw it. The students of Kington High School were thrilled. Although it wasn't them who won. But seeing Yizhong acting Asif, facing a formidable enemy, they felt a surge of excitement. The students from First High School who came to watch the match felt discontented. What is there to celebrate? Only 1 out of 10 won. If this were my school, I was so ashamed that I scurried back long ago. Still celebrating here. So, are you guys really sure she won? I suspect she cheated. Otherwise, Ma Zu must have gone easy on him. Ordinary high school students can win. No one would believe us if we told them. Yan Wen heard the sigilless words. He frowned. Can't you control your students? Yat Chung teacher waved his hand. I can't possibly control so many mouths. Besides, Isn't that the truth? The students at your school are indeed not very steady. A little victory and you are laughing like this. So shallow. A little bit of victory. Yan Wen glanced at the students from number 1 high school. He paid no attention. Eyes turned to the girl on the stage. Asked classmate Tan Yi. Do you want to have breakfast quickly? His gaze was gentle. It's as if he was just asking about a trivial little matter. Tan Yi curved the corners of her mouth. Nodded. Yan Wen saw this. He said to the teacher Fromi Izong, you heard it too. She wants to eat breakfast as soon as possible. So please have the students from your esteemed school quickly come on stage. Upon hearing Hua Zhang's words, he lifted his foot with an expressionless face. He shook his head. I am requesting that all students from your esteemed school come up on stage. Yan Wen smiled gently. But the words he spoke made everyone from Yizhong change their expressions. They all just want certain people to gang up on one. Or should all the Pia plunder the ring come up on stage? They have absolutely no regard for their one China principle. This is absolutely outrageous. Under everyone's fiery gazes, he repeated again, please come up on stage, all of you. The students of Kington were utterly stunned. Baby, are you playing this big? Tan Yi stands on the ring. She lowered her gaze. In reality, my mind was completely listened by the teacher's words. Although it's true Thatch likes to show off. But she never expected things to get this intense. Let everyone gang up on her. Only Miss Yan could come up with something like this. She is really not as amazing as they think. Tan Yi is now on the verge of tears. She wanted to signal Yan Wen with her eyes that it was about time to stop. And Yan Wen ignored Tan Yi's look that said, know when to stop. She thought he was worried that the soldiers might hurt someone. He simply ignored it. The fragrance of flowers ascends the stage. Are you all looking down on me? Want to Kalanjiveri own alone? You'll have Tajit pass me first. Hearing this crisp and clear voice, Tan Yi turned around. He only uttered a single word. The florist gritted her teeth. The person in front held their head high. Those eyes looked down from above. He stared at her intently. There is nothing in her eyes. It only faintly exudes an indescribable arrogance. I will make you pay for your arrogance. I want you to know. In front of Yizhong, you Kington are nothing at all. You are not worthy of standing before me. As soon as the words were spoken, countless metal-gathered needles surrounded her. The iron maid objects within the scene. It is currently decomposing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Under an unspeakable force, they turned into tiny needles one by one, gathered inextricably in the ring. The oppressive force instantly swept through the entire venue. The students of Cheongdam High School were shocked. My hair stood on end. This is the first time they've seen this. And psychic attack on such a large scale. Wing. But it was practically surrounded by these weapons, leaving no room to escape. It felt like I was about to be riddled with bullets in the next second. Yan Wen raised an eyebrow. Metal manipulation. The control is pretty good. The Yizhong teacher said proudly. This child is a top candidate for the #1 scholar. He is naturally not comparable to the average student. Teacher Yan, I think what you said is correct. You students of Cheongtam, I really should have gone for breakfast earlier. Missing an arm or a leg. He was certain that Yi was bound to lose. Among the college entrance exam candidates in Wanxi, no one has yet been able to manipulate metal out of thin air. Their Huaxiang is the first one. And the only one. He admitted that Tan Yi is indeed quite good. But in the end, it still can't compare to a true genius. Yan Wen chuckled softly. He didn't speak again. Tan Yi looked at the densely packed needles in the air. I'm getting goosebumps. Oh, my God. For the first time in my life, I'm surrounded by so many needles. It looks exactly like. It feels like being chased by countless doctors trying to give you injections. Huaxiang snapped coldly. But he is merely a person chasing fame and fortune. How can you even compare yourself to me? After today's battle, I want you to reveal your true colors. You are not worthy of competing with me. Countless needles flew toward her. The teachers at one middle school saw this. Yan Laoshi said with a laugh. I advise you to hurry on to the stage and save your student. The metal of Huaxiang has been tempered and fused by her own hands. Extremely hard. If you really get it and injured, then our school will not be held responsible. Tan Yi watched as countless needles flew toward him. A sudden chill emanated from his body. It formed a circular barrier. She left her inside. The fragrance of flowers mocks the ridiculous. You think a little ice barrier can stop me? Can that stop them? She didn't say anything. He just cast a dismissive glance at her. Another round of needles shot towards her. It's time to end this. The teacher from Yizhong Sesmil grew wider and wider. The next moment, her smile froze on her face. Only to see that needle now as incomparably rigid. After colliding with that icy barrier, in an instant, it was like a hedgehog poking against the barrier, motionless. Those barriers remained completely intact. There was an uproar in the audience. The disdain on Huaxing's face froze in place. She reacts very quickly. Gather those needles into an incredibly huge metal needle. He attacked the girl, who remained as still as ever, with all his might. And the young girl gently lifted her eyes, raising her brows to lightly glance over the attack. Extending her delicate, jade-like hand, he cast an indifferent glance over everyone present. Finally, her cold gaze fell upon Huaxiang. His icy gaze was as if he were looking at an insignificant ant. Her lips parted slightly. Last time. Please everyone, come up on stage. As the words fell, that huge needle was forcibly shattered into pieces, fallen to the ground. Everyone swallowed their saliva. This bone-chilling cold rapidly spread. Everyone in the martial arts hall felt as if they had fallen into an icy abyss. The teacher from Yizhong gritted his teeth. Wasn't trying to take on everyone single-handedly? I'm giving you this chance. Everyone go up. Only win, no losing allowed. The honor of our one high school rests in your hands now. Upon hearing this, the opponent from Yizhong said. With a heavy gaze, he jumped on. Even many people under the stage surged onto the stage. That's right, Yat Chung. One must not lose. This is their pride. Seeing enough people surging up. Tan Yi's eyes areas cold as ice. Her skin was as white as snow. A chilling aura emanated from his entire body. This is her, Tan Yi. I am the #1 talent. Seeing enough people. She broke into a rare smile. Countless shards of ice appeared on everyone's bodies. A blue light suddenly appeared. A slight blow. The entire arena is frozen. Everyone snapped out of it. Who actually won in the end? As soon as the words were spoken, the crisp sound of footsteps came tapping along. A girl as cold as ice appeared before everyone. She was wearing loose white athletic wear, ethereal and transcendent. Her coldness chilled on to the bone. One look at it makes you feel like you're in the dead of winter. A chill that pierces to the very bone. Yet its beauty is beyond all blasphemy. Obviously, Tan Yi won. Kington High School is done. First day of genius. Tan Yi won. Wait until the white fog clears. Scattered ice sculptures were revealed. These frozen people have varied expressions. There were those who were panicked, with a menacing glare and a dismissive sneer. At this moment, Yat Chung's teacher finally understood. Why is this legendary fort of the gods? Why are you so low-key? She is not low-key. She is afraid that her strength might hurt others. So I would rather remain silent than take action. The students in the audience were shivering from the cold. They can't afford to care about winning or losing at this moment. Just want to find a warmer place to stay. They turned their gaze, but they were stunned by the students of Cheongdam High School. People from Cheongdam High School. I don't know where they get this blanket from. At this moment, everyone gathered together, relying on this blanket to keep warm together. They already knew Tan Yahad played his trump card. Can't distinguish friend from foe. He has even prepared his own way out. This is absolutely outrageous. Can't they notify Dr. Yat Chung? It's really cold. Watching the high school student who was frozen into an ice sculpture, Tan Yi was a bit stunned. It's truly unbelievable. She actually did. Winning without relying on anyone. A genuine and true victory. Host, you are amazing. They actually thought of using the air to disrupt their movements first. Then take the opportunity to group them together and unleash a big move. That move stunned everyone. This still relies on you. Tan Yi said. If it weren't fourth match against Mazu, found out by accident. The system can detect a stance of approximately 500 meters. She might not be able to win so easily. Wherever it detects, everything will appear in her mind like a data model, so that she can know future in advance. Everyone's movements, winning so easily. Tan system has made invaluable contributions. After this battle, Tan Yi has almost figured out his special ability. Ice-based abilities are primarily used for powerful attacks. The Tan system is mainly used for assistance, monitor the surrounding movements, and figure out the opponent's moves. The gains from this battle were even greater than she had imagined. Regarding this situation, Yan Wen was not surprised. The students at our school. It has caused immense damage to your esteemed institution. I am truly very sorry. If necessary, we can provide cleaning services for your school. Teacher Yizeng's face was already pale. Now, it looks even worse. No need. Yan Wen raised an eyebrow and glanced at the ice sculpture on the arena, kindly opening my mouth to say, do you need us to help your school students unfreeze their accounts? Teacher Yizong furrowed his brow. Subconsciously, I thought she was checking out the students from their school. So, he said, in an unhappy tone. No need. Our students are not as strong as Tan Yi, but he is not so weak that needs help to be unfrozen. Yan Wen still wanted to say something, but I saw that he looked displeased. I had no choice but to shut up. Meanwhile, the person beside him or her, As someone who has been through it, Lin Mai heard these words. Looking strange. He opened his mouth. But I don't know what to say. I can only silently light a candle for the students of Yizhong. I hope they break the ice soon. Tan Yi has returned to the other side of Kington. Yan Wen gave her a gentle smile. That's a fair and accurate comment. Skills need improvement, judging by the combat strength she just displayed. It can only be said that it might be suitable for all ages. But when you look at it from the perspective of the capital city, not exactly top-notch. Tan Yi nodded expressionlessly. My heart was already freaking out. Oh no, judging by Thedeker's expression right now, she probably won't even get into a second-tier university. Why is it so difficult to get into university? Host, don't worry. There are still 2 months until the college entrance exam. We are stepping up our efforts. Maybe we can make it in time. The system consoled, since the competition is already over. Yan Wen naturally had to take his students back to Kington. But before he could even speak, a red light lit up on the watch on his wrist. His expression turned stern. I don't know why. Tan Yi felt an inexplicableness of foreboding in his heart. No time to explain. A pair of large wings appeared behind Yan Wen. He flew straight out of the martial arts hall and left. Everyone was so shocked at Thier as nearly popped out. Tan Yi was even more shocked, his mouth agape. Holy shit, system. There's a shatter in the system here. Mission accomplished. Esper headquarters. Yan Wen flew all the way here. It only took a few minutes. It's done. Almost all the high-level supermans are here. The leader cleared his throat. Since everyone is here now, I won't beat around the bush then. Just a moment ago, global wormhole outbreak. And now, in the training camp, Tan Yi came to the training camp as usual to mooch bricks. An old man with a beard looked at her kindly. Come here, child. Let the old man have a good look at you. Tan Yi unconsciously started walking. Without a moment's delay, she suddenly came to her senses. My heart instantly grew vigilant. Just now, she was actually manipulated like a puppet. You're looking for me? The disparity in strength. She unconsciously used the honorific form. The old man smiled. He seems just like an ordinary old man from a regular family. He looked at the girl's delicate face. That face, beautiful as frost and snow. Now, somewhat familiar outline. A flicker of emotion passed through his eyes. You really remind me of an old acquaintance of mine. Thinking of the graceful and heroic woman in my memories, he shook his head. When people get old, they always think about things from long ago. I'm looking for you about that stone brick. Old Master Chen poured her a cup of tea. He said slowly. You hog those bricks all day long, leaving no room for anyone else. I'm heartbroken. Many people have already come the old man to complain. I originally thought that old man Tan Yi had ill intentions. Tan Yi opened his mouth. May I ask who you are? Old Master Chen puffed out his chest with pride. This old man is precisely the deputy camp commander of the Wan clan's official training camp. Oh my god, the person involved is sure to settle the score with her. For the sake of my own money. Tan Yi's originally calm face was now filled with vigilance. The indifference in his eyes turned into wariness. He reeks of a miser from head to toe. Old Master Chen laughed and said, Take it easy. I'm coming to you to discuss something. After our unanimous decision, you are banned from participating in the brick competition. The training camp will compensate you with own bottle of medium-grade repair liquid. Tan Yi wanted to retort. In an instant, it was suppressed in my mouth. She was trying hard to suppress her excitement. He said calmly, on the surface, God knows she has already tried her hardest to suppress the urge to burst into wild laughter. That is a medium-grade repair solution. 1 bottle is equivalent to 100 bottles of basic restorative solution. As long as I get it, she no longer needs to come here to Brick's place to leech energy. Only a fool would oppose it. Old Master Chen was very satisfied with her answer. He immediately took out the ultimate repair solution from his pocket and handed it to her. Tan Yi suppressed his excitement. "So, is there anything you need?" Old Master Chen shook his head. He said with asthma, "It's gone." Then, aiming at Tanya's receding figure, he sighed with emotion, saying it reminded him of an old friend's demeanor. After leaving the meeting room, she decisively found and opened a separate training room. Because she is ranked 5th in the Bay City Top 100 list, so we get to use the training room for free. At this moment, she walked while exclaiming Jexity in her heart, "Tan Zaital, come out and Takia look quickly. We have the ultimate repair solution now." Smelling the rich energy, Tan's system had a sudden jolt. Tan Yi closed the training room door. Sitting cross-legged in the middle, she took out the intermediate repair solution. Opened the bottle stopper. A refreshing and delightful medicine fragrance. It spread immediately. She took a deep breath. As expected of the ultimate repair solution, the energy is so intense that it made every pore offers relax involuntarily. It feels as if every cell in the body is absorbing energy. Tan's system felt this energy. My heart skipped a beat. The entire consciousness is feeling dizzy. "Host, quickly absorb it." Tan Yi nodded. He drank the potion in his hand in one gulp. Liquid inlet. My body is as warm as a gentle stream. The intense feeling of fullness made her frown involuntarily. It seems like there's something. It feels like it's about to burst forth from within my body. The host family is about to level up. Tan System's cheerful voice rang out in Tan Yu's mind. A sudden wave of lethargy swept through my entire body. I don't know why. My body feels as if it's being torn apart by pain. I just feel cold and in pain all over my body right now. It felt as if something had been forcibly torn apart. Tan Yi's face was covered in cold sweat from the pain. Tan System, you unreliable piece of crap. Can't you at least give me a heads up before you upgrade? It hurts so much. I don't know how long it's been. The force that split banana open. The resulting pain sensation. He disappeared from the training room for the whole time. The only sound was her panting after narrowly escaping death. Tan Yi opened his eyes, gasping for air. Is it over? Sweat dripped down from her hair. It outlined her exquisite telecober face. She slowly sat up, quietly gazing at my own hands. A chill emanated faintly from the hand. The power within surged like turbulent waves, as if it could burst forth at any moment. What's going on with the system? Tan Yi found it unbelievable. Why does she feel full of energy now? With a light wave of the hand, the training room floor instantly froze over with a layer of frost. How could she sense it? The power I currently possess. It all belongs to oneself, rather than power borrowed from the system. Now, she seems to be using her power as she pleases. Tan's system did not make a sound. Tan Yi felt strange. I was just about to ask it. In no time at all, a stream of data swiftly flowed through her mind with a sound. The host is the voice off the Tan system. Its voice doesn't sound quite right. She quickly asked, "What's wrong with you?" Tan system's data scrolled a couple of times. He said haltingly, "Host upgrade has been completed. The system ability has basically stabilized. Ice ability has returned." Tan Yi couldn't understand what it was saying. I can only wait until Tan system finishes loading the data before asking it. The training room in the boot camp is an enclosed space. All the equipment inside. All are forged from thunperalid silver iron recommended. At first glance, it was a silver devoid of any trace of life. A moment later, the sound of data flowing in my mind gradually faded. Tan Yi opened his eyes. Speak, what exactly is going on here? Why can I feel it now? The cold air flows through my body. It feels as if this power was always meant to be wielded by her. In Tan Yi's subconscious mind, a small ball of white light was trembling slightly at this moment. Host, please listen to my explanation. I really didn't do it on purpose. Before Tan Yi could even start asking, this spineless guy started begging for mercy. Isn't this a classic case of guilty conscience giving itself away? Amidst Tam System's intermittent explanations, she finally understood what was going on. Tan Yi originally possessed supernatural abilities. One is the ice-based first. This is the system. These two supernatural abilities complement each other. One attacks, one supports. But she had suffered a fatal injury. The situation began to change. The system saved her life. Exhausted all energy. Because energy disappeared. It might not be able to exist in this world. There's no way to sustain my own vital signs. It can only absorb Thais-based powers from next door to replenish the energy they lack. And this absorption, this directly led to its host becoming the little good for nothing with no special abilities. Tan Yi listened to the whole story from beginning to end. His jaw dropped. She always felt something was wrong. How many years have you existed, system? Tan System is still panicking over its own host's attitude. Hearing this question, it froze for a moment. How long has the host existed? They have been around for that long. Host, she has been in a deep slumber all these years. I finally managed to open my eyes. You can't hit people. Tan Yi's expression changed. More than a decade, which means the Tan System has always been. But wasn't the key Tan System split from her soul? She hadn't crossed over for long. How could it have been over 10 years already? Tan Yi doesn't understand. Even feeling horrified. Not even a moment later. She then asked the system again. You said I suffered a fatal injury. When is it? Why don't I have any impression of this? Not only her. Even in the original owner's preserved memories, no corresponding world was found. Tan System swayed his body. I can't quite remember. I was just born. Tan System and sheer one and the same. Where there is one side, the other will naturally exist. That is the time she traveled through. Not on the stage of Kingdom High School, but from a much earlier time. Tan Yi remained silent for a few seconds. He let out a long sigh and said, forget it. Let's deal with these matters after college entrance exams are over. The most important thing right now is the college entrance exam. All these matters must wait until after she finishes her college entrance exams. Go find the answer. You now return Thais power to me. Does that mean you no longer need its energy now? They've been absorbing power for many years. And the ultimate repair solution has been added. Now, there is no need to absorb any other energy. To maintain physical form, Tan Yi reached out his hand. Floating ice appeared in my hand. That is to say, I don't need to look for repair fluid now. You will be able to house supernatural powers. Just like that. Her disadvantage no longer exists. Perhaps from this moment on, her dual ability shave truly awakened.